Brazil's President Luis Inácio Lula da Silva and his French counterpart Emmanuel Macron have questioned Meta's decision to end its third-party fact-checking program in the United States, saying that this move gives freedom to spread lies. Now, Brazil has given Meta about 72 hours to explain as to what its fact-checking policy will be for the country and how it plans to protect fundamental rights on its platform. Now, the American President Joe Biden has condemned the tech giant Meta's decision. When asked about Meta's announcement, Biden said that it's really shameful and that telling the truth matters.
It's just completely contrary to everything America's about. We want to tell the truth. We haven't always done it as a nation, but we want to tell the truth. And the idea that, a billionaire can buy something and say, by the way, from this point on, we're not gonna fact check anything. And when you have millions of people going online, reading this stuff, it is, anyway, I think it's really shameful.
Now, as an alternative, Mark Zuckerberg has said that Meta's platforms, that is Facebook and Instagram, will use community notes similar to the Elon Musk-owned platform X. The community notes is a crowdsourced moderation tool that X has promoted as the way for users to add context to posts. But researchers have repeatedly questioned its effectiveness in combating falsehood. Now, the posts that have been shared by the X owner himself have raised many questions about this moderation tool. For instance, this year alone, Elon Musk has shared a number of posts about British politics, grooming gangs, and also about child sexual abuse. On the 6th of January this year, Elon Musk's post on former Labour Prime Minister Gordon Brown over the grooming gangs had drawn 25 million views. A wave of social media posts, including some forwarded by the ex-owner, alleged that a 2008 Home Office document had advised the police not to intervene in child grooming cases because victims had made an informed choice about their sexual behavior. However, the former Prime Minister and the Home Office have clarified that there is absolutely no truth whatsoever that has been promoted in these claims. The ex-owner's amplifications of false and misleading information has also raised a number of questions on Meta owner's decision to use community notes. Countries are now questioning whether it is an effective step to combat the application of misleading and false information. Earlier this week, Meta founder Mark Zuckerberg had triggered alarm when he announced that his tech company was ditching the fact-checking on its platform in the United States of America. The tech tycoon said that fact-checkers were too politically biased and that the program had led to too much censorship. All right, now to give us more perspective on this, we are joined on this broadcast by Mr. Lester Munson, who is the co-head of international practice at BGR Group, a leading government relations firm in Washington, D.C., and also a senior fellow at the National Security Institute from Washington, D.C., and he's joining us live on this broadcast. Mr. Munson, this is something that's going to be debated upon in the many weeks and months to come after Twitter, which was using community notes as a way of fact-checking the information. Now, Meta has announced that it is moving away from its earlier practice of using professional fact-checkers, third-party fact-checkers, to now use a tool similar to X of using community notes for fact-checking the information that is posted on its platforms of Facebook and Instagram. What's your take on this?
Well, I actually think this is a welcome step by Meta, by Facebook, to change the way that it handles these kinds of issues. In the very recent past, these third-party so-called fact-checkers were actually actively collaborating with the U.S. government to determine what could be posted and what couldn't be posted. And in the United States, where the freedom of speech is really one of, if not the most important freedom we have,
right.
It is certainly in the top three. Was very much at risk with this kind of policy where the government is collaborating with a large platform to determine what Americans can post or not. So I actually think this is a very important step forward on the freedom of expression, the freedom of speech issues, and I think Meta did the right thing.
But if you were to flip the argument, and if you look at the amount of power that the owners of these big tech companies wield, for instance, Elon Musk, He tweets a lot. He puts out a lot of these posts, which a lot of people have raised serious objection to. Some have said that he's posting stuff that people find is misleading. He's posting stuff that people say is, stuff that has little basis in fact and is essentially some kind of propaganda that he's pushing forth. And he's probably, because he owns the platform X, is not going to be fact-checked in the manner that an average user is going to be fact-checked, because he controls the software. So how do we get around the fact that, these big tech owners, if they start putting out information, they cannot be checked even by community notes, if that is how the software is so designed?
Well, here we are freely criticizing wealthy Americans for their decisions. In the United States, you're allowed to say that someone made a mistake and they did the wrong thing, and here's why I think that is true. People should, if they feel that someone has posted something that is erroneous, should feel free to go ahead and post their view. That is the whole point of free speech.
You're right. That is the whole point of free speech.
Heard.
But consider this being said on X. Elon Musk does not like it. He controls what goes on there. And millions and millions of people rely on the platform X to access their news. And he promotes what he wants. So although there is freedom of speech in a sense, but it is not the kind of freedom of speech that we aspire for in a free society.
There is no monopoly at X. There is no monopoly at Facebook. People are free to use the platform or not. There are multiple other platforms that have different policies, that if people like those more, they can use those. That is the point. You get to choose what you want to do. You don't have to use Facebook. You don't have to use X. It doesn't cost any money, to my knowledge, to use either one of them. So if the owners want to have a certain policy, they can do that, and the market will determine whether that is going to be successful or not. That's what freedom is about.
But look at the people who are criticizing it. For instance, Joe Biden, he's the Democrat president. Elon Musk is a close aide now of Donald Trump, the Republican. Joe Biden has come out and said that this is not right. It is erroneous. The Brazilian president, Luiz Inácio Lula, he has said that Meta should now make clear what their policies on fact-checking is going to be. So is there something which probably the government needs to step in and do to ensure that the owners of these big tech companies do not dictate as to what is the truth?
No, thank you. I do not want the government to tell anyone what is fact or not. That is what the free market is for. Again, Lula and President Macron, they don't have to use Facebook if they don't want to. They can use something else. They don't have to use X if they don't want to. I get very concerned as an American when companies that are supposed to be platforms for people to express views work very closely with the government, with the politicians running our government to determine what can be posted and what can't be posted. I don't like that. And so when I see a platform that is doing that, I will use a different platform.
All right. Very interesting. Thank you very much, Mr. Les Munson, for joining us and getting us those insights there.
Thank you.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.